we're gonna watch in this video about Canada and why living in Canada has become impossible. Not gonna lie, living anywhere has become impossible, dude. Either you are in US, Canada, anywhere, dude. It has become impossible, man, because of all the price inflation and this climate, smog everywhere these days. But yeah, we're gonna watch about Canada in this one though and see what's going on. And by the way, I also saw like few days ago, like 2 days ago, that Canada changed their immigration policy or something like that, that they said they won't be accepting as many immigrants as they did before, and they won't be giving giving up passports to as many people as before. And yeah, that thing has really made people crazy, because they said they are doing this because they brought so many workers in a COVID-19 time, and they are mostly staying there now, and they want population to go a little bit low in Canada, and that's why they are doing it. And yeah, most people are really upset. That's what I saw in the comment section, at least from their comment section. But no, I don't know much about Canada, or I don't live there, so I don't know about that. But still, I think so it is not a good thing to change all that, because many people from India go there, students especially go there, and do jobs and stuff like that. But yeah, they did change their policy, and they got a new policy at that they won't be accepting as many immigrants as they did before, which made people angry, which is fair. So yeah, let's see why it has become impossible.
Cost of living.
I was skipping meals because I was struggling to afford my food and my rent.
2 million Canadians had to use the food bank in 1 month alone.
No wonder crime is rocketing after 8 years of Justin Trudeau.
Canada is worse than you think. Just 2 years ago, a simple 2-bedroom apartment in Toronto cost on average $2,400 Canadian dollars. Today, that's $3,300.
Okay, I thought it was 2,400 now. Oh damn, it went to 33.
An average increase of 25% per year, and that's not an outlier.
I just found out my rent's gonna be increased from $2,100 a month to $2,400 a month for a one-bedroom condo in Toronto.
One-bedroom condo?
In most Canadian cities, you would need to earn at least double the minimum wage to afford a one-bedroom apartment.
Wow.
And you can forget about buying. In major cities like Toronto and Vancouver, the minimum income that's required to qualify for a mortgage is double or triple the median household income. This makes buying even unattainable for the top 10% of earners. There is a housing crisis, a cost of living crisis, and now even an immigration crisis. This is a real change from the Canada I know and admire. What has happened?
It's time for a change in this country, my friends. A real change.
This is how living in Canada became impossible with hindsight.
By the way, this video is from Hindsight.
Canadians from all across this great country sent a clear message tonight. It's time for a change in this country, my friends. A real change.
Justin Trudeau was first elected in 2015 with a message of positivity.
This is what...
Honestly, when he came, he got elected, and I was like, okay, like this, like as you see, this guy looks really young, like younger than other politicians in, at least in US, and from many other countries too, like is way younger. So I was like, okay, he's gonna do something good in Canada. And even till now, I was like, Canada is, I thought that Canada is way better than US in a living aspect, you can say. But yeah, so I guess I'm wrong. As I said in the start, living anywhere these days, man, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's really hard. And I thought this guy will make a big change in Canada, of course, in a positive way. But as I saw, I mean, since he also did the immigration, the new policy, people are really leaving Canada, or many people are started to leave Canada because of that policy. And even before that, people were not liking Justin Trudeau, I think so. And but I really thought this guy will be will be a really good politician for Canada. Like, he'll do really good things. But yeah, I guess they all are same, huh?
What positive politics can do.
He built his campaign on hope, and the media often drew comparisons with Obama
Yeah, look
and
at that.
the
People
United
are.
States.
I mean,
wanna
that's
say
how
this.
usually it is in the
Many
start.
of you have worried that Canada has lost its compassionate and constructive voice in the world. Well, we're back.
On his first day in office, he entered a Montreal metro station to take selfies with commuters. The
Who cares
exchange
about
went
that?
Viral. The atmosphere was exuberant.
Why he's out there doing
There
all
was
that?
a feeling of hope and positivity. Trudeau had the second highest approval rating of any new prime minister in Canada's history. To understand how his approval ratings have turned around so dramatically, why Canada is in a housing crisis, a cost of living crisis, and most surprisingly is now struggling with immigration.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
need to go back in history.
Okay.
Canada is a nation of immigrants. In the mid-1800s, the population of Canada was almost entirely concentrated on the east coast, along the St. Lawrence River and the Great Lakes. To its
Okay.
west and north lay a vast and sparsely populated area that they wanted to populate. They used immigration as a tool to build their country. They attracted new people with a comprehensive marketing campaign. Build your nest in Western Canada was the message, calling it the New El Dorado. Boatloads of prospective migrants arrived in Canada and were vetted by migration officers. They were particularly eager to attract talented farmers. They could help Canada's westward expansion by settling uninhabited areas. They built villages and turned them into cities, attracting commerce and industry, over time strengthening Canada's grip on the West. By 1920, population centers had emerged all along Canada's southern border. They grew from 3 million inhabitants to 9 million.
Wow.
These immigrants were selected on merit, but also on race. Canada wanted to maintain the status of a white man's country. But after World War II, these discriminatory practices came under scrutiny. Canada started to build its modern immigration system. This was based on a points system. Prospective immigrants were scored based on their age, education, training, and language skills. The basic philosophy is that immigrants are selected based on their merit and what they can contribute to the country. This system is still in place in Canada today, making it the oldest immigration system of any country in the OECD.
Oh.
An early challenge was that an increasingly large percentage of newcomers were family members. In 1971, economic migrants made up 73% and family members 21%. But a decade later, this had turned around. Family members were seen as unproductive consumers of welfare benefits, and this prompted the government to make entry requirements stricter. By 1995, the percentage had dropped to 36%. Canada vested a lot of power in the federal executive branch of government, which makes it possible to respond quickly to unwanted flows of migrants. They kept identifying weak spots and making improvements. And by the early 2000s, the system was hailed around the world as one of the best. Even Donald Trump had good things to say about it.
Nations around the world, like Canada, have a merit-based immigration system.
But what was most impressive were Canada's exceptionally high levels of public acceptance. Immigration, until recently, wasn't a controversial issue. In 2018, 2/3 of Canadians believed that immigration was a good thing for their country, the highest level of any country in the OECD.
Wow.
But that wouldn't last.
What happened after 2018?
Canadians are almost universally positively inclined towards immigration. We know that immigration is a source of strength and resilience and growth for our communities, and that's a wonderful thing we should be very, very proud of.
Public opinion on immigration has shifted dramatically during the last years, from people feeling overwhelmingly supportive to most people feeling concerned. During the first 4 years under Trudeau, the population grew at a record pace, mostly because of immigration.
So
And it
many people
slowed
coming in.
during the pandemic.
Okay.
And that's where the problem started.
Oh, so I feel like I kind of addressed this problem in the start of the video. Kind of, I did that. Oh, because they got a new policy of immigration now, and they put all that policy, like they said they are changing this policy just because of this thing, this problem which they mentioned in this video right now about COVID-19. And because of COVID-19 they had to bring in so many people in, and because many people were not working and all that, and they had to bring more people in, or many other reasons too. But yeah, they had to bring in many immigrants in Canada, and I guess which caused the population to rise in Canada, and many of them still stayed and didn't go back. And yeah, now it's hard for Canada, you can say. Too many people there and jobs and stuff like that, and now they are like, stop, we need to slow this down. We're gonna bring in less and less people from now on, and which caused like a kind of a crazy reaction from the people in the Canada and outside of the Canada, you can say.
Canada is facing a host of challenges. One of them was a shortage of workers. There are difficulties in all major sectors, from construction to healthcare. Companies were just unable
But I said
to
earlier,
find people with the right skills.
It's simple to me. Canada needs more people.
This was the new Minister of Immigration.
Canadians understand the need to continue to grow our population if we're going to meet the needs of the labor force.
Fraser, like many before him, saw immigration as a tool to fix specific issues.
Okay.
The worker shortage, but also demographics.
You know, immigration in Canada is not just something that we do, it's who we are. It's who we've always been.
All across the Western world, the population is aging, and that is an issue. But in Canada, it is extreme. In 1971, there were 7 people of working age for each senior. In 2012, this was down to 4. The projection is that there will only be 2 workers for every retiree by 2036. The number of Canadians that are over the age of 75 will double over the next 2 decades, while fewer people
more older people, few
if we don't do
young
something to
people.
correct this demographic trend, the conversation we're going to have 10 or 15 years from now won't be about labor shortages. It's going to be about whether we have the economic capacity to continue to fund schools and hospitals and public services that I think we too often take for granted.
This inspired a radical new immigration plan.
In that they just announced,
Canada
I guess.
set a record population growth, and they announced to welcome 465,000 permanent residents in 2023, 485,000 in 2024, and 500,000 in 2025.
Wow.
We are staring at one of the greatest economic opportunities of our time when people around the world are looking to move, and Canada has become the world's top destination for people who are thinking of leaving their country of origin to pursue economic opportunity elsewhere.
They saw immigration as a race for global talent, and they had every intent on winning. Their target was to have economic migrants make up 60% of newcomers, an ambitious goal. And they particularly targeted workers in sectors with the highest demand, like healthcare, skilled
The
trades,
people who have some skills, who can help in,
technology.
do something
But
in
when
the
these
country,
plans
you
were
know.
announced, immigration offices were already 2 million resident applications behind on their work. There was already a shortage of housing.
When you talk about the housing crisis that we're facing, which we are facing, one of the limits on creating more housing is the challenges on having enough construction workers.
But Trudeau and his cabinet members saw immigration as the solution, not the problem. And in 2023, Canada's population grew with the fastest rate in almost 70 years.
Wow, that went high, dude. Almost 1.5 million. But so what they are saying is we have housing crisis, like, which means like less houses, more people, and prices are going up for housing and living, or renting and stuff like that. And they are putting that on not having enough immigrants or workers or people in construction who can build new houses, you can say. So they are saying we need more people to come in who can build the houses or work in a construction site, and which can bring down the housing crisis or bring down the rent. And so I guess that's what they're trying to say, that they need to bring in more people which are going to build more houses, and they hope that the price of the housing, all that, comes down, because now it's so high not many people are in construction site because more people are old than the youngster in that country. And yeah, that's what kind of
This was
going
the
on.
fastest growing population of any country in the OECD.
Wow.
More extreme voices like the Century Initiative lobby to grow Canada's population to 100 million by the end of the century. The plan was endorsed by a former prime minister, and lobbyists included several advisors to Justin Trudeau and his cabinet members.
We have a population that is aging. We need people to arrive with their talents, with their hopes, with their dreams, with their capacities to work hard, to build our communities, to build our future.
Public opinion was shifting. Whereas in 2022, 27% of people believed that there was too much migration to Canada, in 2023, this was up to 51%. And in 2024, to 58%.
Oh man, more than half.
All right, well, behind me is the Take Back Canada March Against Mass Immigration.
In July 2024,
what is this march for?
Protests.
There's a lot of disaffected Canadians here who feel like the government has not been listening to them.
This was an unusual sight in Canada.
And what happens to the election in 2025? Is mass immigration going to become the main issue in the election, or are politicians going to try to run away from it like they seem to be doing right now?
In 2025, there are federal elections in Canada, and Trudeau might lose his seat.
Looks like that. I think so too.
Broccoli heads was $11.44. $11.44 at Save on Foods in Langley.
Like, we have a serious problem here in Canada. Just came to $218. How?
Man,
The government likes to publish figures that show how the economy is growing. This is technically true, but the growth is primarily fueled by a growing population. Per capita growth is down.
Economy is not growing that much, but population is growing so much.
750 square feet, and I pay $4,300 a month.
People are working 3 jobs just to live in this city. It's actually crazy, and they're still struggling to pay their bills.
There is a clear mismatch between how fast Canada's population is growing and how long they need to supply housing and service infrastructures like healthcare and schools. This affects all layers of society, but this is most acutely visible in the cost of housing.
Okay, we need to talk rent increases because this is getting out of hand.
Would you pay $800 a month to share a bed with a stranger? That's what this Vancouver listing is.
What? $800 a month? One bed, one bath. So you, oh my god, dude, that's crazy. So you have to share a bath and a goddamn bed, dude. Goddamn bed with someone else, and still have to pay goddamn 800. Oh my god.
Is offering.
The most vulnerable people are people with little to spare, like students. A story broke about 25 students that were living in one basement in Brownsville, and it went viral. The mayor of the city responded that they've seen cases like these on a regular basis.
Like
do something about it then.
6 beds on the floor with dividers between them for $325 each.
The number of temporary residents, which includes temporary workers but also international students, have increased dramatically. In 2022, they numbered 1.4 million. And in 2024, this had doubled to 2.8 million.
Damn.
Public opinion had now turned against Canadian immigration policies, and for the first time, it had become a controversial topic. Trudeau, with elections coming up, needed to act.
Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is promising a massive federal program to deal with the housing crisis in Canada.
So today, we are releasing the most comprehensive and ambitious housing plan ever seen in Canada.
He put Sean Fraser, former Minister of Immigration, in charge of housing.
I know we're going to solve the housing crisis because I know what Canadians are capable of.
These decisions were vilified in the comment section on YouTube. It's crazy that people believe the guy that got us into this mess is the guy that's gonna get us out. Too little, too late. You cannot be the solution to the problem you created.
The reality is different parts of the country have seen different challenges. In addition to population growth, there have been supply chain constraints that have driven up the cost of building. We're trying to address a 30-year lack of investment in affordable housing, and we're soon going to hit a bottleneck with the productive capacity of the Canadian workforce to build the homes we need.
Fraser is in an awkward position.
Yeah.
Perhaps letting in 9 million new Canadians before homes were built for them had a little to do with this problem.
Yeah.
A majority of people now disagreed with immigration policies. They were angry and frustrated by the cost of living crisis, and immigrants felt that they were unfairly portrayed as the cause of the problem.
They miscalculated the how much immigrants they want. They miscalculated how much housing they have, how much they could accommodate over here.
Government
and now they are
problem.
blaming all it on us.
Trudeau's approval rating dropped in September 2024 to just 33%, and only 26% favored him as the Prime Minister. He had to turn this around.
Bonjour tout le monde. Good morning, everyone. In a moment, Minister Miller will be detailing our immigration plan. Before he does, I want to say a few things. Canadians are justifiably proud of our immigration system.
Really?
It has made our economy the envy of the world. It's how we've built strong, diverse communities. It's how we've demonstrated that differences can and must be a source of strength, not a source of weakness for communities and society. Today, we're announcing that we will reduce the number of immigrants we bring in over the next 3 years.
That's what I talked in
result
the
in
start.
a pause in the population growth over the next 2 years.
Trudeau announced that they'll change course.
Instead of bringing in less people, why the hell you just don't make more houses or do something about this housing crisis, dude? Like, I get it, okay, that will help too, I guess, because they were bringing more immigrants before. Now they'll bring less, okay, it won't have that crazy impact, but still your people are already suffering from this housing crisis, dude. Like, look how crazy the prices of living there are, man. And he's still putting on the poor people, the immigrants, that, oh, it was, I guess, we brought in too many people, okay, let's bring less people this time. Bruh, you need to make more houses, man. You don't have enough houses, or you know, your economy is going down and population is going up. I don't know.
To lower the number of new arrivals, to slow population growth. He admitted he was wrong.
We didn't get the balance quite right.
When he took office, there was already a 3-decade-long lack of investment in affordable housing. There were building challenges and supply chain issues, but as PM, he bears the burden of responsibility. It was his choice to allow entry to such large numbers of immigrants, growing the population and adding pressure to the housing market. The affordability of housing and the cost of living in general are very visible signs of a deteriorating living standard. In 2019, 19% of Canadians felt that Canada was extremely unequal.
In 2019,
up to 38%.
Wow.
To the question whether the cost of living is now worse, the number rose from 66% in 2019 to 84% in 2024. And I'm still just scratching the surface. Canada.
Damn.
This was a real change.
Really good video from Hindsight. And yeah, dude, this is a problem, man, for real. I am not Canadian. I have never been to Canada, and someone from my family do lives in Canada and there. But for me personally, for real, like anywhere you live these days, it's really hard to live, man. Like the prices of everything is going up, even in US and other countries, everything is going crazy, dude. And if you talk about Canada, yeah, I was wrong. Like few years ago, like when he got elected, Justin, he got elected, I really thought he's gonna make Canada like a really good thing, man. Like even when someone would ask like, what do you think about US or Canada, I would say, bruh, go Canada. I like Canada. Canada is way better and they are more accepting and it's not that crazy as in US, you know. But as you see in this video, bro, it's even crazier, you can say, or if not, it's same as US, you can say, because damn, those prices and how, you know, how irresponsible you can say the government is, and how like, okay, like he said, okay, sorry, we did not get the numbers quite right. Okay, bruh, it's not our problem, it's not our fault. It's not like a normal immigrant or the people who live in Canada, it's not their fault that you got the numbers wrong about bringing in the immigrants. Like they got so many immigrants in the around the COVID time, and they got less houses to live, and yeah, the people don't have any place to live. If they have, of course the price is gonna be crazy, you know. So yeah, that's how it's going right now. And bro, on top of that, now he bring in this new immigration law. Instead of fixing the problem or doing something about housing, he's just saying the government is just saying, okay, we're just gonna bring less people instead of making more houses or doing something about that, the real problem, you know. He's just putting on the people, still putting on the immigrants, that the immigrants that came, those were the problem, not that we had less things to provide them, you know. So yeah, normal grocery prices are going up even in US or any other countries too, man. And on top of that, the housing prices are going up, and that is crazy how those people are charging 800, 4400, 4500 for a small space. And do I think that he will be re-elected next year? Who knows, but I don't think so. The how he's ending or how he's acting now, like how his government is, you know, making all these new laws, policies, new rules, especially these days, especially what we just saw, I don't think so people gonna vote for him, man. So yeah, but I really thought he was different than other Canadian politician, or other at least US politicians, because you know they're a little older. This guy looks kind of young, more, you know, have some kind of more idea of how people feel, what they are going through and all that. Because as they said, Canada is a country of immigrants. Many immigrants come there and they live, and that's how the country runs. And yeah, man, I hope they do something about it, and making the new policy about immigrants was not the best idea, or was not the solution, I think. But yeah, that's what they want to do. I cannot do anything, man. But yeah, good luck to all of those people. And yeah, I hope something happens, they do something, or something especially about housing and these crazy prices, dude. But yeah, this is crazy for real. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.